Welcome back to Game Changers Championships, where the score is now tied between Zipto and MIBR. And we have Kamiyu there.
Hello.
Cute little faces. Gotta love my girls over here. But it was very, very scary too, because for MIBR, they looked like they were on a roll at first.
Look at Kamiyu. I'm sorry, Mika, but it's an intense elimination game. We're going to map 3, and she's taking the time to jump in front of the camera, do a little dance, not a care in the world. That's awesome.
They are chilling, and that's why I feel like we were talking about this, you know, in the middle. That's why I feel like they weren't too worried about that first map, because I feel like just the overconfidence on Split. We saw exactly what happened.
I have to be honest with you, Mika. I didn't believe you at all. We talked off screen about this potentially. I asked you, where's your hope sitting at now? Where's the cope for Pacific? And you turned around and said, a slow start. Maybe they even just scrap this map, but we've seen this before and they can bounce back. And that sounded like BS.
It is not my first Pacific time.
Yeah,
Here's the thing about these specific teams. If they don't give the fans a heart attack, they're not playing the game right.
It's part of the experience. So welcome to this. And I feel like it was almost calculated for Zipto, right? But, you know, for MIBR, I feel like they're a very momentum-heavy team as well. They may lose steam with this, especially since here on the global stage, they haven't done well with regards to, you know, third maps.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. This was a pretty crushing loss for MIBR, right? It's so different to look at a comp on paper and have your ideas of how you're going to deal with it. And then you go into the server and you're playing against this double duelist comp where there's literally 2 players sprinting at you the entire time. I think MIBR was something like 11-5, or excuse me, Zipto was something like 11-5 in first kills this map. They were crushing in these early rounds. The double duelists ran MIBR over, and they just could not find a solution.
Yeah, this is exactly it. Constantly on the back foot every step of the way. And this is what we saw. It literally, the turntables have come in. It's ridiculous. The first map, in my mind, there should be no bouncing back from that. Even you think about comfort levels on a new map and all this, it's your map pick, all these excuses, they don't really add up to you suddenly being a better team. But this change of pace, this get-in-your-face attitude worked so well for Zipto here.
You're saying the turns have tabled?
The turns have tabled.
Yes, they certainly have tabled, especially for Ineri, because she bounced back quite well, you know, on the second map. Especially, you know, you compare her stats on the first map and look at her now.
I mean, I feel like it's got to feel so good playing in a team like this with just such a positive atmosphere. You see the players building each other up, hyping each other up, really just having fun. It's an intense game. Kamiyu's dancing. I think it's a perfect circumstance to have a bad map and just brush it off and come back. And I mean, Ineri's just a perfect example of that. She had an outstanding game on the Neon here.
I think it's essential as well with even mentioning the composition, the double duelist. You have to have that high energy, because if you come into this game and you start a little bit slow, you give your opponents that space, you are wasting the composition that you've brought to bear. And they did not do this at all. The deep pushes that were consistently coming through left MIBR thinking that they had a little bit more space than they did every step of the way. They thought, oh, they've made it halfway. No, they were fully in and ready to take the fight.
Yeah, the reason we don't see Neon played very much on this map is because if you're going to play a dive duelist, generally Jet and Raze are better. The problem with playing attack side split is you're almost always getting stalled out by utility like astrogravity wells, molly, smokes, all this stuff that actively stops you from pushing through without taking damage. Neon can kind of circumvent that to an extent, but it's not as good as updraft dash over. So piloting the Neon on this map and finding as much success as she did, isolating as many opening kills as she did, is actually so difficult to do, especially against a team like MIBR, who just went out and stumped you map 1.
Well, I think typically when you see that Neon as well, they will be the tip of the spear, the point of contact. But the Raze was often taking space. Think back to the round over on B site. They fake A, go to the B site, use Showstopper to gain all this space. And that's where Neon then starts to play the game. Once they've gotten their opponents pushed back, they push them back even further, start to use the stun alongside the nade to have guaranteed space cleared on top of the initial clearance. It's ridiculous how often MIBR were forced to play Zipto's game, and that coming off of being dominated on map 1 is just ridiculously impressive to keep that same mentality moving into the next one.
They're essentially dual wielding.
Yeah.
Dual wielding with the Neon and the Raze, right? But I also think one key thing, like one key signal, I guess, when yes, I did do that. I did do that.
I was doing it too.
That's me dual wielding. That's me dual wielding.
I like it.
But I do have to know that, like, I think the moment that I knew that, like, okay, Pacific fans, just calm down, let them cook, was when, you know, they were down, I believe it was like 11-1 or something like that on the first map. And then Tara just, like, you know, after she loses a round, she just looks at the camera and just smiles. Like, okay, they're pretty calm here. I think this is some kind of plan.
Yeah, you got to see the writing on the wall. Like I said, I really didn't believe it. What an incredibly exciting final map this sets us up for, because typically, in my experience at least, and I think you guys will agree, when you see these two dominant swing maps either way, the middle ground that we end up on to close out the series always delivers.
And it is going to be on Sunset now. So I will admit I am still very worried. And Jelly is a big part of this, just because Jelly is just so good at being able to set up SRN, right? Now we see what are they going to bring to the table here. Mimi, what are your thoughts?
I think it's an interesting matchup here, MIBR. I mean, we've seen a lot less of the Neon than other teams, and Aneri coming off the momentum of playing Neon on that last map. I think we'll be very comfortable here. Zipto has a lot of really nice ideas with this comp for aggressive re-clears on the defensive side, even for these gambits at the beginning of rounds. I think MIBR have to do what Zipto did, take a full reset and take control of the pace again on attack. You can't just let Aneri run you over 2 maps in a row.
Well, that's exactly it. And then on the other side, the shoes on the other foot, Aneri defensively needs to get aggressive. We need to see that same level of punch being brought, because MIBR, yes, they were on the back foot for the entire first half of that previous map, but I do think that Zipto will have a much tougher time here. This is where SRN set that kill record of 29 in regulation.
Oh, thank you for reminding me, Mitch. Thank you for reminding me of that. It is all going to come down to this one map to decide G2's opponents in tomorrow's best of 5. One last time, here's Pansy and Potter.
This one feels like it's heating up. Map 1, it was a stomp. MIBR looked on it. Map 2, Zipto turn up with resilience in buckets. But map 3, this is where the history books could be rewritten or stay as they are. Christine, where do you see this going now?
This is, I'm excited about Zipto. I
Oh,
said, yeah,
they
just
got you?
The big brain coming in on map 1 to map 2, and this is it, like you said.
Okay.
Map 1 and 2 at this point don't even matter.
Oh, they're
We're
gone.
all coming, they're
gone.
all off the table. It
Best
all
of one.
comes down to Sunset. Best of 1, baby. We've got the difference in KO and Breach coming through again. Double initiators, almost very similar comp, but Zipto, they want to go aggro here. Oh no, Alexi going down puts Aneri in such a pickle.
And this paranoia looks a lot. Oh, okay. Well, no, Aneri's good. Why are you worried? Why are you
shouldn't have
ever?
been.
Yeah,
I
relax.
shouldn't have been.
Have a little faith.
Look at SRN. Based off that info, she wants to go sniffing, and she hears that Cypher cam. Soon gonna see this trip as well, and gonna realize this is a retake setup here for Zip.
Okay, clear and through. Done what they needed. That's nice. That was really good work from SRN.
Planted.
Does what is necessary. Plants in, time's on their side. Now what util do we have? Smoke's just been invested. Tara still has the paranoia. They still had a flash with Camu, but it's Jelly already to take away Aneri. So now numbers starting to look really nice for MIBR. Refocusing the fight towards that short side. The paranoia just went towards CT, but the swing looks good. Zipto now just starting to clear on out. How the hell have they isolated these fights? Sayuri is still here. One left, one to the right. Melissa seen in the smoke, and the double push. They're taking no risks there.
Amazing teamwork coming through here for Zipto. I feel for MIBR though, as soon as they 4-man pushed that spawn, they kind of forgot about Jelly. Jelly was all alone on that default box, no crossfire made. And so unfortunately for MIBR, just overpowered coming here for Zipto. You saw Camu, that second knife coming through once again, popping it towards that A site, giving them even further info.
This feels like this pistol is already a bit of a marathon. We had that fight towards B main that could have gone either way, super precarious. And oh, it's back.
Alexi's back. She's back.
Alexi, you've been too quiet. You've been too quiet. We didn't know what happened. But now we know. The audio guy's out there just like weeping. Okay.
Too suppressed.
Now. Oh, I was going to say one sheriff. The sheriff is no longer around. Said sheriff is removed. Looking for threats, looking for ult orbs, looking for any silver lining, plants, any bits and pieces. That's what you're going for here. Obviously, you'd love a win.
Yeah,
Not likely.
if you're MIBR, you really now want to talk about that outlaw coming out onto the board. If they're able to get this spike down, it will be such a huge just cushion for them going into their third round with that full armor in tow. If they're not able to get this spike down, things can get real dicey.
I mean, it feels like A has a real option to it now. It's all about timing.
They've got the Gecko, you know,
Yeah.
the wingman certainly helps, especially in these low buy scenarios, and especially if they're able to identify, once again, it's the Cypher on this A site.
Let's see if they can get that. As we can already see, Shirazi's playing quite, I guess, disconnected from the site, quite passive. That, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the one way towards CT, it is. So, for Shirazi, you're not going to disrespect that. You're going to, I mean, you're going to make them think you might be, but they're already taking that space. Plant's going to come in. So that should make that outlaw a little less lethal once we get into that bonus, but still, let's have a look here what SRN can achieve, because it's certainly not out of the woods just yet. Zipto are at the door, but look at this swing, the triple swing! Tara does well to farm two there. Jelly and Sayuri go down, even Melissa in a 1v4. But again, we were looking for silver linings. We were looking for any bits and pieces, getting plants, getting a couple kills here and there would have been great, forcing rebuys of shields. It's never going to be the win if people are playing it right, but again, I like what they attempted.
Exactly, exactly. And you do worry a little bit with how aware Zipto was in that retake. You saw all members in spawn just waiting for MIBR to do their signature move. Their signature 3-2-1, send SRN to disrupt that flood. So Zipto, good communications coming through, good fundamentals as well, and they're going to need it here in this bonus.
Look, we all know how dangerous MIBR is. If you only watched map 2, if you just tuned in for map 2, you may not get it, but I tell you now, statistically, SRN terrifying. The impact on map 1, I mean, out of this world. So don't think it's not scary as hell to be facing this team. As it stands though, Zipto looking to try and chip away at MIBR here into their first gun round, and of course the bonus for Zipto. Good info to start with, SRN is noted. And just a 1-3-1.
I think they might have even seen the Gecko as well. And
Oh.
when that kind of agent info comes through, it's so much information, because Zipto, they know that MIBR's win con and game plan coming into this will be for Jelly to be the spike planter. So when the spike is spotted in mid, buys a lot of time, and what a repeat coming in for Alexi.
And again, Alexi can be a superstar in a lot of roles, but that Sova in her hands pilots it perfectly. And at this point, for MIBR, they haven't taken too many steps here. The deepest they've gone is with Melissa, taking this space all the way up towards A. Looks like they're trying to rejoin towards her. As again, for Zipto, they've been happy to play those retakes. They've been giving up a little bit of the space just to play security on it, to keep that presence towards top middle that was so rewarding earlier in the round. SRN going to be slingshot back and actually gets caught. It was Alexi again. Second big impact kill for her, leaving just the 3 who are now getting a little bit uncomfortable. They could flood back on this site. Things are getting a little bit dangerous. Luckily for them, a bit of stall coming in. The paranoia was good. Sayuri is now on the chopping block, but still, it's a cosmetic stun. Don't worry about it. MIBR in numbers, holding the line. A quick slide in for Aniri. And it doesn't work out. They dig in. They claw into that round.
And what a lucky round for MIBR as well. Zipto did so much work, had all the mid control, and even started the early rotate. That trap with the Cypher trip at short A, this one right here, would have been deadly.
Yeah.
But the fact that SRN threw that paint shell and didn't allow those defenders to really mow them down on that choke point was everything. And this time, this time in the site, Jelly wasn't all alone. The crossfires were there in the post, and MIBR are able to hold strong.
Yeah, this is looking good. This is what we want. A little bit of a heat up here. You want to see both teams firing on all cylinders. Jelly 2 away from ult. Look at the impact ones. SRN a little further off. Sayuri, similar scenes. It's Aniri who's 1 away from hers. That's a little scary to see there. TP less over Tara, but as it stands, feels like MIB have really got that read of how Zipto are liking to play this A site, leaving just that one player towards it, very passive, kind of controlling deeper space, but that's it. Again, you look at those trips, super deep now, even further back towards CT. So again, the exploration mission, taking their wander, taking their walk through elbow, being very cautious about it, but not investing utility yet, really, being very frugal in that investment.
And that investment being frugal is going to be huge for their game plan. Zipto completely okay with playing this retake game, but that spike being down in T-spawn the whole time from Jelly. She just collected it, and it's because SRN hears that Cypher cam. She's letting her team know, hey, it's the same setup coming from the defenders.
There it is. Sights under wraps. Now, no pre-take.
30 seconds
Springboard in.
So
And
low.
look at the damage.
This
Yeah, Alexi could be dead in the water here. That pain shell could be enough for it. Yeah, it absolutely is. Alexi's gone. That's uncomfortable. That could be a lot of util that was invested for that retake then. That could have been big, but now you're looking at the flank. Camu surely going to be noted. Surely there's a trip broken here. But still, 2 flashes. The pain, the nade is there. You're going to have the ult coming down. Oh, the timing. How do you win that? Camu just swings and wins, but MIBR taking a stand on the site itself. The pack of 3 players playing in perfect unison then, and retaking the space towards CT, shuffling towards that side a little, and that's impossible for Shirazi. This might be time for a little switch up on how they want to be controlling this A side. That's not working anymore. Let's see what they can come up with now.
Exactly. And you could feel for Zipto, they definitely didn't want to allow the attackers to have free reign of B main. They don't want the Gecko to just free farm this orb, but A main, this map, Sunset, that's the name of the game. Being able to control the pace and always making the attackers use utility before they come around this corner. It's definitely the vision if you're a defender. So just leaving the Cypher setup is not working.
Yep. Hey, it got you a couple rounds. That's fine. It served its purpose. I want to see their adaptation going forward, how they feel about it. And of course that poses the question towards MIBR going, look, we're not going to keep getting away with that. There's going to be an adjustment. The question is, what's it going to be? So it's that kind of back and forth thinking. This may not be the round we see the adjustment because Zipto are on the lighter purchase. We're going to see, I think it's just, that one rifle in the hands of Alexi. Eranos kind of down on Sheriff's, Frenzies, bits and bobs. We do see the light shield with the Neri, so I wonder if that ult is going to be considered. On the other side, full purchase and a patient beginning.
Definitely going to be considered. You can see all members grouped up together. They want to be the bait for a Neri to just show up, have a party.
Whoa, SRN, so swift though. Cracks open the site. That's Camu going down.
3 members of the defenders now going sniffing towards mid. They want to see how many bodies are actually towards this B main.
And look at the damage. That's, that's
no.
perfect. It's a dream come true for MIBR. That was the danger, right? That backline threat, that was what they were hoping for. Now, less so. Alexi, yeah, that rifle could have been fantastic, but you're not going to get much of an opportunity here. Trying to clear close, make sure no one's going to try and get cheeky. Tara even going to be warded away pretty much. That util, that burst. SRN controls the labored spray as MIBR now starting to get into the swing of things.
Yeah, I think pretty soon, maybe not this one, but the round after, a timeout for Zipto. Give the players on Zipto a time to collect themselves a little bit. Even that kill slipping out of Lexi's hand at this last. That's a feels bad for sure. I like the map movements coming out for the defense. As soon as they lost that B main, you saw that smoke coming to refresh. And for the defenders, they know that buys them a little bit of time. As soon as that happened, Aneri and Alexi went sniffing towards that mid. If these 2 players are able to kill Jubes there in that position, this round looks very different. So the pieces are moving for Zipto. They gotta shoot a little bit better here.
Yeah, there it is. That's what it comes down to, right? You can make all the right moves, but that 1v2 happening in middle works out, and there it is. Suddenly the round's so favorable. But we said it could be in the, or you said it could be in the next, maybe that 7th round. They want it for this. They don't want to let this game get too far away. We know what MIBR are like. They are momentum monsters. Once that ball gets rolling, it is hard to stop. And we're already seeing SRN starting to heat up here. Has the ult to invest into this round. Rolling Thunder, not a million miles away either. So these sort of impact ults are going to change things. Keep that in your mind. Now, I want to see the buyback here for Zipto. I'm pretty sure I saw an operator coming out. So that could be something they want to lean towards. Bring that into play. I want to see where they post this up, how they want to utilize it, because they've got to address one, that A site hold. They can't just leave it on that passive Cypher setup. So now what's the switch up?
She wants to go into this A-halls, and you already talked about it, Lauren. The fingers in her back pocket allows Aneri to have a reset, a movie for herself in front of her. But even though the attackers aren't grouped, she's not going to find a lot of bodies over here. Still, that aiming control that we were talking about, that the defenders need. This is the round that Zipto can start to establish it.
And have they even been doing the one-way? I can't even think about that in my... I felt it was so free towards A, they weren't even doing the one-way. So for Melissa to be able to relay the information, okay, this feels different. They've already got a little bit of a different setup. This is when MIBR can kind of then take that lead-in momentum, right? That counter call almost to the timeout. And it looks like pressure through market, straight up through mid. And SRN ain't going to stop. No, absolutely not. Shirazi is just eviscerated. SRN takes full control. B-site is theirs, plants in the building, and you're not going to be overly willing to want to play retake with an operator. That is a prized possession.
Yeah, this round is over before it even really begins. 3 members, maybe they can constrict them, get some entry.
Jeez.
That's going to hurt.
Oh, no. Said make a movie. I think SRN wants that 5th. They got a good idea. Jelly is being the ultimate teammate, and it's the ace.
That's the homie.
That's it. That's who you need.
And that's dangerous. That's so dangerous if you're Zipto, letting MIBR have such a feel-good round like this.
And that
all
ult,
players.
it's halfway back now already.
Oh, that's painful. That is painful.
Oh, so clean with it too. Yep. Yep, that's when you start feeling untouchable. Confidence getting up and up and up, and it's so hard to stop this. That was after the timeout too. That was what that round was for, and they've just broken the back of it.
Especially with the NA save that we just witnessed as well. That is rough. A decent buy. It's not the best, but 5 ultimates on the back of Zipto, and a nice little trap set up for them here in mid.
But MIBR, they're smart about this. They've been working it out. They've been reading about how this goes, but there's a little bit of a gap, and well, that just got filled. Melissa finds it. Not gonna let you slip through over by tiles. That's still our space. This brawl in middle. Melissa, that is another pick as well. Melissa is completely controlling this. Safety secured with that deep smoke almost, and the spike's already on B. This is, again, you're hoping for maybe a little bit of a biff in middle, maybe get a weapon, snowball. Cool, we got ults here and there. Never got that opportunity with Melissa, but Shirazi, nice shot, and a rifle now in hand. That's Tara gonna go for that one. How far can they get with this?
SRN has so much space in the backside, completely controlling all of this. Makes Alexi have to just take her time. If Jubes goes down here, there's a chance, but that drill just solidifies everything here.
It's just look at this time. Util pour on towards B main, and Jubes doesn't have to give up this angle. She can just gonna hold on this.
Though.
It is. It might be a little bit more punishing.
Okay.
Maybe it's not.
That nice.
It's all good. It's all good. MIBR. Okay, the ball starts. It's really starting to roll here, hasn't it? Right. This is when it starts getting really tricky, and they burned that timeout early. They burnt it real quick. They didn't want this getting out of hand. This round better be heaven sent from Zipto, or this one might be spiraling out of control. Yeah, it's 5-2, but you gotta look at how those 5 rounds have been gathered.
We've got to see a game plan coming out from Zipto to use these ultimates. We've already seen an entire half go by where Alexi held on to Hunter's Fury for 13, or rather 10 rounds or something ridiculous like this. So this is definitely the round for Zipto to burn everything they got, stop the bleeding here. Camu just wants to get in a close range, get in the faces.
But they're still so disciplined. MIBR, then, like, as much as they are explosive and aggressive, it's not just without purpose. It's always very well tailored. Again, Melissa has been a real safe pair of hands over towards that A push out. Did really well on that kind of like anti-sheriff round almost, like very passive. But the timing, does she get timed on this?
The way SRN just played that was so alpha. She got tagged by the drone, but went forward while getting pinged, making the defenders think there's a lot more bodies here.
Off your feet!
Okay, side. Was never really in contest.
Oh, that trip.
This is the fight that I was waiting on. I mean, Camu clean with it. Okay, so now they're sweeping back through middle. They're clearing methodically, but CT is controlled. SRN has taken so much space, but Alexi breaks back in through market. Now they start speeding up here. Zipto want to get a nice grip back into this. It takes a whole lot of ults, but they're happy to burn it. Jelly, the last one alive. Clean stuff from Zipto. That is what they needed, and it comes in just the nick of time.
And a lot more patience this time around, aware that SRN has been in the backlines consistently. That caught MIBR off guard, but they always had to make the move. They didn't want to get stuck in the site with a KO ult and a Hunter's Fury just flooding onto them. So really good proactive moves coming through here from MIBR in the post, but Zipto being aware. Let's go. They are back.
Okay, well, consecutive rounds would be nice. Let's get. I'll be on board if we can get one more, you know, a little back-to-back. Because again, when we put it in context, 2 out of these 3 rounds, 2 of them with a pistol. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but this is the tester. Love the little anti-flash here from Aniri. That was nice. So well handled. Oh my god, almost just snapping ankles, but Melissa's found space. Melissa, how have you done so much damage here? Beautiful work. Camu trying to be the one to hold the line, to keep them back, keep them pressure towards elbow. And Camu ain't alone. Camu on the shut down and shut out. Zipto are now stringing together rounds.
The ankles are breaking here, Lauren. Aniri putting in so much work, and that should have been a round 1 for MIBR. The fact that Melissa got so much done off the back of her OMEN ult should have been everything, but Aniri just dancing and dodging, bobbing and weaving, able to just be that distraction.
All eyes on her. Okay, so now we get a little bit of a challenge. This is what we want to see. A nice oh my.
Let's go, Alexi.
Kind of get you pumped up, right?
Yes.
Get going. Get some people going. Now we get a bit of a fight back from both sides. Now we get to MIBR. What answer do you have with us? You have Jelly's ult to play with here. That could be a nice instigator, right? Spark the match and send us into the rest of the series, but Jupe, so much space. Big lurk in middle. We haven't really seen that lent upon too much. There is that trip towards the top, but still, so much info can be relayed.
Oh, this combo is so deadly. We've got the ultimate coming out for Jelly now on the board. And it looks like MIBR, they want to double back around. And as soon as this ultimate pops, I'll be curious to see if Aniri tries to spray it down or she's just got to back up. She's got the blind from Terra.
It's cool, Aniri.
Break it.
Think so? Stick to it.
Use the blind and break it.
Oh no, but the TP now. The timing's off. Couldn't get the paranoia out, so Aniri has to back away here. Respect this. Smoke towards elbow, but a catch.
Not good.
Tara trying to be saved. SLRN gonna have to just go out blind on it and maybe just a shot in the dark and it works. Tara left in pieces, scattered as Jupe succeeds on that pressure play. This is concise from MIBR and devastating for Zipto. Alexi and Aniri, you feel like nothing's going to go your way, but a 2v5 would be magical. Melissa waiting.
I don't know what their money is here, but for Zipto, they've got to be talking to each other about maybe saving these 2 rifles for the next round.
Yeah, I think that has indeed just been called here. It feels like at least they're peeling away, but Jelly doesn't want to let them keep these.
Stick together, Aniri. Help your teammate.
Go, go, go.
And the hunt doesn't stop, really. Aniri can probably bound a way out of danger.
Oh, they think she's blind.
Okay. Not bad. And it is just how long can Aniri live? For now, does she keep the rifle? Let's see. Oh!
Okay.
Okay, 1 rifle kept over. Maybe that can supplement and bring a bit more back to the economy here, but this
sequence right here, Lauren, we talked about that Gecko ult from the beginning, and the fact that Aniri running away, it ended up catching Tara because Aniri was so fast on the Neon. So unlucky for them, and Tara using her ult right when that Gecko ultimate gets procced through, so cannot use her blind either. Just a series of unfortunate events coming out here for Zipto, but now that the Gecko ultimate is off the board, Alexi, she's all alone here.
But it's Alexi! Good for 1, but not for the follow-up. Jelly powers forward, takes away market control. But they've already evacuated site. They're not sticking around on this. MIBR doing enough to secure. Quick flash towards CT. Do they pressure this? Jelly looking well invested on that, but plants in play. Sharing the wealth a little. Now, how's that retake going to look? They're going to need almost a freebie, and I don't think they're going to get one here. Comfortable in the post plant so far. Jelly focused with Melissa towards CT. 2 getting closer through market for at least Zipto, now 3. Paranoia goes in, they got to make a play. Nice little pop flash. Jupe's going to be forced off the angle. Does still succeed, takes down Shirazi. Trade comes out towards Pillar. Sayuri looking to try and find some sanctuary at the backside towards CT. And Tara spins on a dime, but a 1v3 is a lot to ask for. MIBR focused on that singular goal of getting past this game.
And that crossfire in the back of sight is just too strong. Melissa just holding on that blind the entire time and just sending it at the last second. Even these pop flashes, they were good, but the reaction just tucking right back into that corner and securing this post plant. MIBR playing it beautifully. And for Zipto, once again, they're going back towards this A main, and this was the answer earlier on in the half, but MIBR, they just haven't come this way. This time, though, this time they are here.
Yeah, seeing a little bit of a different puzzle presented, right? That high flash, something they hadn't noted before. It generally been Aniri kind of playing with Tara towards it. This time a little bit of a different setup. And now the rotation from Aniri, but SRN already taken towards elbow control. Still jump spot, taking the space, and the ult orb to boot. So Jelly, only one off. Oh, Melissa runs away, Jubes. The timing. She has been doing so well in middle, but this time does get traded out by Shirazi.
Jelly wants to get the spike down, get that ultimate back on the board. Good splash damage, but not enough. The blind!
Caillou, the blind! Does she get to live? She does, which is very surprising. But SRN still finds a victim and a target, finding both towards short, and she's still going, playing off the back of Jelly's ult here. Clears through, deep towards CT. You can see Shirazi isolated, and Neri makes a go of it. But 4 to 8 is pretty clear cut.
Wow, beautifully played for SRN, and you saw right when she just started pushing the issue, going towards that short A, she wanted more. She always wanted more and wanted the movie for herself, and she gets it.
Yeah, this has been very, very dominant. SRN has looked lethal on this one. Played in well by Jelly. Everyone setting them up for success, right? They found that gap and they exploited it. They stayed ahead of the curve. This has been a good display, but Zipto aren't out yet. 4 rounds is workable, but we have Yinzu standing by with some of the members of FlyQuest Red. So why don't we head down there and hear from them?
What a series this is turning out to be. I got some friends here in the crowd. I'm now joined by FlyQuest Red's Dodo Nut, Coach Jovi, and Starbound as well. Now, at map 1, if anybody would have told you guys that this is how close this series is going to be, I don't think anybody would have believed you. So I wanted to ask you, how is Zipto bringing this back? How are they keeping this competitive right now? I'll start with you, Coach Jovi.
Honestly, they're very scrappy. So, I mean, MIBR came out blazing off of map 1. Split is Zipto's map, no doubt about it. So, I mean, a quick reset, and now here we are.
Yeah, what do you think, Dodo?
Obviously, Zipto has a really good mental, and they're always positive, so it's easy for them to always bring it back, even though they're down.
And here's the other thing, though. You guys have played against them on Sunset. You know what to expect. So, Starbound, going on to the next half, what should MIBR look out for when it comes to Zipto's attack side?
Yeah, Zipto can be super explosive on like their hits, and once they secure the site, they like to go for more on the lanes, and they set up for that. So being prepared for them to take some lanes after the site take, and preparing for Shirazi's lurk, because she likes to lurk a lot, and she can close out some rounds. So just being careful for those 2 conditions.
Great answer. You agree, Coach Jovi?
Yeah, 100%.
He said everything. They said everything you wanted to say already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Love that. Love that. And last question before I let you guys go: who are you supporting? Who are you rooting for?
I would have to go for Zipto. They're my friends.
Oh, okay. What about you two?
I'm saying Zipto.
I got MIBR right here, so I have them taking it all.
Oh, we will
committed.
find out. We will find out in the next half. So let's send it back into game.
Okay, a little bit of a split vote between them there. I like that. I like the MIBR repping, but the Zipto friendship, I mean, it's tricky. But let's talk business here, Christine, because 4 rounds scares me. 4 rounds ain't much when half of that was from a pistol, right? Let's call it how it is. Now, if they wanted to change history and turn what happened before back into their favor, it's possible, but it's certainly not easy now.
It's definitely not easy. Definitely just gets harder and harder for the side of Zipto, but I'm still looking at this KO. Camu had an incredible 2 maps yesterday to close out our day, and she's back on the KO. This knife should give her so much information off the rip, and in tandem with Alexi's util, should really allow Aneri to visualize exactly how she should be spacing. But this trap coming out here for MIBR, you can see the lines from the top mid players and the market ones. They want to collapse here.
So pressure never seems to be on their mind. They play ahead of it and they look sharp doing so. 2 isolated fights, eviscerating and annihilating Zipto. The fight back from Camu was there. And now Alexi in a 1v1. Jelly, that was ambitious. Maybe a little too far for the spike. Yoinked back. Alexi, paint us a masterpiece in this round. Jubes, has to kind of play catch up a little. Unsure where Alexi's gone now. Going to be behind the curve, and 14 seconds for that util to come back online for her. That dart is there. But again, the trip's still in play, Christine. They still got a good hold on this one.
Not just that, but the camera as well. Jubes is feeling pretty comfortable to just keep this flank going slowly but surely. Pretty soon she's gonna know.
30
She
seconds
doesn't have to
left.
worry about halls at all.
Spike planted.
Alexi's gonna hear the cam. What should be done? Pinged out already.
I must wait a moment.
Okay, now, this is when you start having those little bit of a doubt. You think, okay, could still be on default. But trying to play the timing. Alexi going for the around the world play, but the plant's not for it. Jubes is going to assume now, playing towards elbow, but Alexi's made great progress here. Jubes is sitting the plant, looking vulnerable, drawn away by the dart
The
now.
trajectory-
Didn't manage to actually break that one, so does at least get pinged out once, and Alexi playing cool here, calm, collected, but the angle for Jubes is just right! And heartbreak for Zipto, and elation for MIBR to start things off here.
And you saw the communications coming through from her dead teammates there as well, because at first Jubes didn't see the trajectory of that arrow coming through, but strong communications and strong frags. I mean, the fact that Camille got away with getting 3, but this move right here as well, collecting the orb, but still, MIBR, they can do no wrong. Even with Jelly being greedy, they still are rewarded with a round.
They are.
This goes here.
Seeing SRN straight on the Vandal here. Bulldogs are out. They are lining up that nail to the coffin of Zipto, but a Bucky in the hands of Aneri and a dream still to be had. Sheriff with Alexi to keep their heads held high here. Every opportunity to do damage, but can they truly pressure now? MIBR have that upper hand. They've got that strong start. Need to deal with this.
SRN is so nearby. She's still got the paint shells. She should be satcheling across, trying to get this paint shell down, delay the plant even further. Aneri, no opening kill for her.
Nothing. Aneri desperate for it as well. You can see her wanting to try and find a victim, find someone to tussle with, but she's in trouble. Oh, Alexi on the bailout!
minute.
Big punish on towards SRN. That could be a potential rifle to be recovered, but Tara falls. Hold on. Alexi now trying to bolster up, trying to hold CT, but overwhelmed. Oh, the classic Camille! That's outrageous! Goes for the knife out of bullets. Tried to make a play, but the bonus carries on. This buy in the second round will still have some bite to it. But there's life in Zipto, but still 10 rounds for MIBR.
And that's a W round if I've ever seen one. Sure, it's not going to mean much with the scoreline being what it is, but Zipto, they should feel a little bit better, at least going into the 15th round. They've got the KO ult on board now because of these classic kills. So if there's ever a time to make this comeback happen, it is certainly now. And SRN is just heating up, Lauren.
17 kills, 8 deaths. That is impact. Camu trying to close the gap a little, fair play, but let's see what Zipto do. You got to keep this one absolutely perfect. And already, gonna pop the ult. They're taking no chances. But now you got to stick the landing because MIBR are here, and they are here in numbers. Jelly already takes down Camu. Big trade for Alexi, but this is getting dicey. This is getting dangerous. They have some site control. I don't want to say completely because it feels precarious. The paranoia just a little off to the side as Jubes now to the 1v1. Tara still here. This has gone absolutely topsy-turvy. Tara going to make the dash for it. Melissa had the site. Slowly creeping behind. Doesn't want to give away the game just in case they were waiting. But no, now going to know fully what's in mind.
Yeah, that market door closed, giving her the timing that she wants. And now her teammates might even be pinging to allow her to know where the plant has come through.
So much pressure on Tara here.
OMEN versus OMEN.
And MIBR have that comfort of 10 rounds, right? This was only a bonus anyway, no sweat. For Zipto, this could be it. This could be do or die, pretty much defined on this round. Can they get that 5th? Melissa, cautious, careful, opting for the smoke on the site and the tap on the spike. Now knows where Tara is, but Tara, that's a bold play, but that's a problem. Melissa on the swing, and MIBR takes a critical step closer to closing out map 3.
And you've got to feel for Tara there in that 1v1. So many mind games at play here. 2 smokes out on the map, and Tara just never knew. You don't want to be the player that gets full stuck on. on that spike.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So you're almost like overthinking it. Yeah.
Such mental warfare there. So she has to just burn her whole clip into that smoke, and Melissa playing with her food well. The coach is feeling good. All the players on MIBR feeling good. This is a feel-good timeout. If you're MIBR, you're just
grinning.
Yeah,
you're
just
grinning.
Hey, nice shot. I saw that one.
Yeah, that was good.
job,
That was real
teammate.
nice. Real nice. Now, if we're talking about stark contrasts, Zipto ain't going to be feeling too good about this one. They've had a couple close rounds, a couple close moments, down to some 1v1s. If you think about this half, how many 1v1s there's been that have just not gone their way? It's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But the last thing you want is to be thinking about that in these moments as well. You've got 11 rounds against you, you've got 4 to your name, and it's kind of now down to crunch point, right? 12 against you feels almost impossible. It's such a long road back. No big ults to bank on here. They could maybe get some through, but nothing to be brought in directly with.
Yeah, they probably are game planning around this Sova. Alexi just being one off. She is kind of cheating and leaning towards this B side, so probably want to start off with a little bit of misdirection. Don't end where you start, so we'll see exactly which angle Zipto try to go through, but I think Alexi, she wants this B main orb.
Seconds and round will be underway. 4 rounds for Zipto. Close ain't close enough. MIBR look locked in. They look like they've got that goal in mind. They had to suffer through split, but they come out swinging here. They've got ults themselves as well. Very close by to Jellies, for example, and look at the pace though. Iniri taking no prisoners. Straight to it. A little bit of a challenge, looking to maybe pressure by door. SRN was over there, so it's going to be a dinner bell rung. They already congregate towards top middle.
A lot of info for Melissa. You can see she's got this deep line, just refreshing that one way. Both players and top mid feel really good, but SRN going down, that is a huge player to take.
It is, and it's above the minute marker, so they could pause, but this, I mean, no one's going to be noted close, but they know about Melissa, so they've got a decent idea of what this A site looks like. The one thing they don't know about is Jelly. Paranoia going to go in, doesn't really affect, but this backfill, this space fill could have been deadly. It wasn't. Only going to take down one, but Camus falling could be key to this. Sayuri now just taking them down one by one. 4 back-to-back. You thought they'd taken the steps towards the round, but Sayuri says no, and MIBR is 1 round away.
And that's such a feels bad, especially when you see that MIBR, they didn't look very comfortable here. Melissa's blind, it didn't land on anyone. Even the dizzy coming out from Jelly only landed on one. So it looked like Zipto did enough, but my goodness, Sayuri just arriving in the nick of time. And Sayuri's not a player that we talk about all the time, but every game you watch, Sayuri is gonna end with double digits on the assist line, constantly setting up her teammates for that
They're going pacey. Oh my god, Iniri slipped the net, took away Jelly in the ult, but Melissa's still going to find a kill. Still going to find some control here. Eventually traded out, but they've just gone hyper explosive, super volatile, and they keep the numbers at least on their side. That's a 4v3, couple upgrades too. They came in with Guardians and bits and bobs. It wasn't ideal. So Plant going to come in, ult then for Shirazi, so they're going to get full info. If they want to invest it on a body now, got to be careful. That looks like an issue, as now here we go. Information free flowing. SRN a little bit curious where they've gotten that Omen, kind of keeping them confused, but it's Iniri on the side still. Gets cleared on the angle. Shirazi called upon, gets them too, but the 1v1. She's got the ult. Sayuri's got the ult as well, and Tara forced to make a play here. Oh my god, Sayuri, you are outrageous. Sits it, but Tara sits her down. Not out of it yet. Zipto hold on desperately for a 5th.
Oh my goodness, that was deja vu, Lauren. It was just 2 days ago when we saw Sayuri in the exact same position, ripping the ult. This time she decides to stick it and try to play chicken with her opponent, but does not come through. These 2 kills from Shirazi was everything for Zipto. It's winnable. Absolutely winnable.
Round by round.
Alexi.
Round by round. SRN's got ult though, and that scares me. That one scares me. But hey, let's see it. Let's see if you got it. You know, let's see if you got it in you. SRN, this is just in your face game.
Wasn't there stairs there?
How? Because mine don't do that. Mine don't do that. I've tried that and it don't work that way. But Alexi gonna be feeling the burn from that one, and SRN ain't stopping. It's a follow-up towards Iniri, and they are just making it hurt. pressuring up middle in such a high impact round, putting Zipto right under the gun. So now Tara, Camu and Shirazi pulling themselves together in a 3v4. Still all that util in their way towards A, a one-way just reinvested. It's so constricting now.
And Melissa's got ultimate in her back pocket as well, so she feels okay being far and spread away.
Okay, step by step, they're getting closer. Either to the guillotine or potentially salvation, but Jelly gonna go for a mad play straight in there for the 2-for-1 trade out now. A fair scenario, 2v2, the flash allows the cross, so maybe they can get the plant, but the knife now goes in, and the swing, oh, Melissa is having none of it! MIBR! We go the distance at 13-5. It feels like history was always fated to repeat here as they move forward after a devastatingly good performance.
And SRN just showing up once again. In the second map, she was a little bit quiet, but right when her team needs her most, she's just dominating in the server. 6 first bloods. She just, anytime she wanted control, anytime she wanted a pick, she had her way.
Yeah, just had that gear to slip into, I have to say as well. A lot of players at home, a lot of fans at home, have a new team to look for as well. Zipto, a lot of people loved how they looked before, how aggressive, explosive. Everything about their style is hard to not love. But the run stops here for them.
Yeah, it certainly does. But kudos to them, as you're saying, Lauren, just the game planning coming through. And I saw the vision through and through in each of their matches, each of their series. And it's just unfortunate that sometimes you're unable to execute that game plan exactly. But this experience and these reps that you got on the stage, that's a lot of good problem solving for you to figure out when you get home.
Spot on. And of course, on the other side, MIBR. What a squad. Dangerous and deadly from start to end. SRN, yeah, of course a name we'll be looking at, but it is a team effort. As you said, even Sayori at the end there, the assist so perfect, always in the right place to play them in. You've had every single member of these teams stepping up and having their time to shine, and they get to move forward. They stay alive.
I even love that last play, Lauren. We got to go back to that last round. Yeah, maybe, hopefully we see it in the replay, if anything. Good, right? But Melissa was so confident in her game plan as well. She stuck around towards that B, and perimeter is everything. When you've got that control and you always trust that you got a teammate coming, arriving right in the nick of time. Melissa showing up and cleaning house.
And taking a glimpse back through some of these moments. I mean, and even at the start, it felt like Zipto were aware of what MIBR wanted to do. But it's one thing to know what they're going to do. It's a second thing to try and handle it, to be up to the challenge of what they're trying to pull off. And this confidence maker from SRN, it felt like that was just the spark that ignited everything.
And the value that she always got off her paint shells, off her satchels, off the showstopper. I need a kill counter on how many Razor kills she actually got, but just impact after impact. And when you're able to actually min-max your rounds and it works out exactly how you drew up, I mean, the coach is having a great time. Marlowe's like, bring it on.
No, MIBR are a scary prospect, right? Any team in the lowers, it ain't pretty, right? You don't feel comfortable in that, and we're going to get a rematch, right? The MIBR G2 affair will get run back this time a little longer than before, though. This time now going to be put fully through their paces. How do you fare when you get to those longer series? The map pool then gets brought into question. That longevity gets brought into question. But as it stands, they have made their way through. Scrappy, dangerous, deadly. And speaking of that, someone we're giving props to is going to be waiting down on stage. So let's send it to Yinzu down at the stage for the Verizon post-match interview, joined by the one and only Sayori.
What a fantastic series that was. We witnessed a bit of a masterclass here on stage. I'm now joined by Sayori on the side of MIBR. First of all, massive congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Brilliant 4K towards the end there, by the way, from you. I wanted to ask you, how do you keep a concentration up and stay so cool when it's been such a long day, it's a long series, and you can still pull off a 4K this late into the evening?
How I stay? I guess we mentalize a lot, like before the match, and in the tech pauses or tactical pauses, we mentalize. So I always try to keep calm, and like I see I'm not killing anyone, but it's okay. Like I'm giving the support, at least. and the calls and everything. So I'm okay. Like I'm not bad at the match. I'm okay.
You're great, you're great. Now we do see you on stage, you know, sometimes between maps, you're all kind of doing your breathing. What is this? Is this like a meditation? You all do it at the same time?
Yeah, it's a meditation that we like think about we winning, we doing great, like only positive things. So it helps us a lot to stay calm.
How much do you think that helps? And how often do you do this?
We do it all the time before the match, after the match, like all the time, and it helps us. I think it's the thing that helped us get here in championship. So.
Yeah, other teams should start doing it, I feel like, because you guys look so cool and, you know, chill, like you said, on stage. And speaking of getting here, this lower bracket run is really fantastic from your team. And your coach, Marlo, earlier said that after you lost to G2, you all came together, you had a very serious chat, and that's how you gained your confidence back and you started winning again. So I wanted to ask you, what was talked about in that chat? What was said?
It was more about feelings and emotions because it wasn't us playing against G2, like we couldn't play the game. So we have to understand what we were feeling and fix it. Like we don't want to feel that way anymore, like ever. So we're not feeling it.
The mentality shift, right?
Yes,
the mentality shift.
yes.
And how much do you think that helped you today? Because you did drop a map as well. After map 1, you only dropped, what, 7 rounds in 3 maps, which is a crazy run. So how did you get back into form and get back into that mental stage for map 3?
We can reset our minds like easily, I guess. Not easily because against G2 it was very difficult. But, but we stay calm because we know the split, it wasn't our map. We didn't train a lot. I guess I shouldn't be saying that. But yeah, we weren't that confident on split. So, but Sunset is our best map, so.
Yeah, you knew what was coming. You knew what was coming. Speaking of G2, you will get a rematch. You will get your chance for revenge. How different do you think you are as a team compared to the last time you faced G2?
Oh, we are going in the game like mentally. We're going okay, so we're going to play our game, so it's okay.
And how difficult do you think it will be? Because it will be a best of 5. I know you have a lot of experience personally in a best of 5, but so do they. They seem to be masters when it comes to the best of 5. So is that going to be a challenge?
Yes, definitely going to be a challenge for us because it's our first time here in Berlin. So in their city, they always play the tournament, so it's going to be very challenging for us.
And lastly, I hope you were able to hear the fans. There were a lot of fans here today. I saw little MIBR tattoos on their faces too. They were really, really cheering for you. So how does it feel to come all the way to Europe and know that there's so many people here that love you and want you to win?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was kind of shocked. So I'm really happy. Like it was a shock. Like there are people rooting for us, like cheering for us. It's amazing.
Don't be shocked. We love you. You're great. Come on, guys. We love MIBR. We love them. Oh, we really love them. We really love them. Thank you very much for joining me. Congratulations once again. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh my gosh, you just gotta love Sayuri. It looks so sweet, but what a vicious IGL, especially with leading this new squad into now top 3 here at Game Changers Championships. And it's so cute because she said that like, oh, I didn't even realize people were cheering for us, but they are winning so many fans all over. It's
so special to see this team here because they pulled off something incredible in their own region to take down a TL Brazil who was the finalist at GCC last year. But now they're following exactly in that squad's footsteps, taking down Zipto. Back then it was Team SMG to make it into a lower final and a chance to make it to the grand finals themselves.
Yeah, they had to make it into the lower final against G2.
It's the same script.
Potentially take them down and make it up to the final. Like, what an incredible storyline this is. And I love the fact that towards the end of that map as well, Sayuri gets that big 4K when we had already talked in the very first map about how the scary thing about this roster is when you have a superstar like SRN, usually the conversation is, okay, if we can shut SRN down, the game is ours, easy peasy. We just need a duelist to match up, but the backlines of this roster run so deep with skill as well that there's always another hero to pop up. And Sayori has definitely been that hero more than once so far this tournament.
It also shows how much depth there is in Brazil. There are a lot of regions in GC that have one very dominant team that absolutely goes out and owns everyone. And that's great, right? It's cool to see a squad who can build that up. But with Brazil, we had a completely different organization. 5 different players who were a finalist last year. And now a brand new team that we've never seen at an international event before has come out and made it to the top 3.
But the story still is somewhat the same, and unfortunately that means that this is the end of the road for Zipto. And you know, on behalf of Pacific, we really are proud of them. Unfortunately, we have to say goodbye and they're eliminated from the tournament, but I do feel like we saw amazing moments from this squad. We saw amazing moments from all of these players as well, especially since, hey, you know, they definitely have a lot of fans everywhere cheering for them too.
I mean, this squad managed to deal a blow to North America, sending FlyQuest down. They took down Crew as well, who definitely seemed like a strong opponent considering some of the matches they had along the way. And then also being able to bounce back into map number 2 in this series alone, I think has earned them a ton of respect.
It is a real heartbreaker, though. They delivered that heartbreak to Visa Crew Blaze yesterday, knocking them out in the exact same fashion. And unfortunately for Zipto, they've gone home in the exact same way as well, losing in that top 4 match to a Brazilian team, and now going to have to take that long flight back home. But they did have a good run here, and I think it's going to be exciting, as always, to hopefully see this team back again at another GCC. They're just so dominant in APAC that I kind of have no doubt that we'll see them again.
Can I just say as well, saying goodbye to Zipto as Camille is like slow motion dancing over there, that's just the most APAC way, Mitch.
It really is. And Camille as well has a reason to dance like that. Even on the last map here, putting up the numbers, and has been a player that delivered. I think had they have made a deeper run in this tournament, there could even be a conversation about Camille being an MVP, or certainly up there in the top of the list.
Oh, absolutely. But, you know, speaking of MVPs, after the grand final on Sunday, we will crown our GCC 2024 MVP. Right now, it's pretty undeniable that Shopify Rebellion is the only team that is, you know, or rather Fluorescent is like pretty much in the running. Do we have anybody else that we are eyeing right now? I have a feeling after...
Have you heard of this player? It's some it starts with an F, ends in a T, Neon player.
Yeah.
She's pretty good, I think.
Yeah. We watched a movie earlier, right?
You remember what her name is?
Yeah, Fluorescent?
Yeah, okay, that's the one. I mean, yeah, come on. If Shopify win again, Floor is the absolute shoo-in for MVP. She has had another lights-out tournament. We didn't have an official MVP at GCC last year, but if we did, it would have been Floor. She is, I think, a player in her own class.
Okay, can I just say, though, SRN actually, you know, probably is really close in that running, okay?
I want to hear the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, hello, the records are being broken by this player, and we are just, I mean, even Zeta's coach, right, said that, like, when you go up against SRN, you're expecting something, whatever you're expecting is probably 3 times worse on your side, and that's exactly what happened to Zipto too.
Yeah, I think they would definitely agree with you in that regard. I think a lot of it, even that conversation, Fluorescent SRN, that will come down to who ends up being in that final or who ends up taking it in the end, because the conversation is wide open. I'll give you another perspective. Perhaps we could even talk about the EMEA team a little bit.
Really?
Just a left field play for me, Mimi. I would swing, not towards Mimi, unfortunately, but towards Petra, a player who, off legacy alone, deserves an accolade like that. But the performance that she's put up throughout stage 2, 3, and then in GCC, maybe not in the most recent game that we saw. I think this was a more rounded performance from the roster up against Shopify. Of course, it's a difficulty, but you look at any of the other games, and she is a standout player.
I mean, she's the only player with a box.
Yeah. Exactly. She has that landmark there, that monument.
Making her mark.
But I mean, really though, Petra has had an incredible tournament. The numbers she's been putting up, she's had massive impact in multiple of Jisoo Gozen's wins thus far. And you mentioned the legacy, the history that this player has too. She was lights out when they won 2 years ago, and I have no doubt that she would do that again. The interesting thing though about Jisoo Gozen for me is that you look at Shopify, obviously Floor is the MVP candidate. You look at MIBR, obviously SRN's the MVP candidate. But G2, it feels a lot more wide open. Throughout their run thus far, we've seen multiple players kind of have their own game, be that hero. So I think over these next 2 BO5s, it could be Petra, it could be someone else, but there's a lot of room
Yeah, Amy had a great game.
It breaks my brain every time I hear that. I could be the MVP.
You're the MVP.
Let's go.
But to be honest, though, it is kind of interesting because
First
coming into
Diamond
this year,
MVP of GCC.
the standard's not being set very well.
It's okay. I mean, on Visa Crew Blaze, it was Michaela. And you would be like, oh, Mika did this. I'm like, yeah, I did.
That's true.
But yeah, I do think that it's interesting because someone like ResQ, I'm not sure I would be harsh and say like she's under-delivered, but certainly from what we've expected to see and what we've gotten to glimpse in regional play, I think there's still a lot left in the tank for someone like ResQ to surprise us. But this deep into the tournament, I think we do start to have to focus on the consistent performances, and that is just Fluorescent. Fluorescent is the consistent demon.
But that's what makes tomorrow's match even more exciting, right? We take a look at our bracket and we are down to our top 3 and our lower final as well. So going into G2 and MIBR tomorrow, you mentioned that consistency, right? And that kind of like next level for both of these teams. And MIBR, they've been stepping it up every single time. They've been saying real MIBR coming out every single match. And for G2, I do feel like there's still a lot left in their playbook left for this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, have they been saving it or are they yet to find it? Do they need to dig deep? And I think with some of the performances, looking at Shopify, look, there was definitely a chance they even take that series. We went to a fair few overtimes. So I don't think that they're coming into this with a huge weakness, but I do think that the level has risen, especially looking at MIBR. They're a scary team. G2 will not be able to come in and take this like it's on easy street.
Yeah, 2 or 3 rounds the difference, and G2 would be in that grand final already as well. It's no easy feat though, going down to the lowers. We saw last year G2 lost in this very position, but the last time they were on this stage, they were the Game Changers champions. So there's obviously some real motivation for them to make this quick turnarounds and show up in that BO5.
Not to mention, like you mentioned, the BO5, right? I want to see that stamina come in from MIBR, right? I want to see the rematch come in as well. What did you learn from last time that you're going to bring into this one? But all of those questions will be answered tomorrow because that does it here for us. For Pacific, GG, and, gave best foot forward. Salute to everybody there. We will see you guys tomorrow at the lower bracket final of Game Changers Championship. It's a match that could very well be our grand finals. G2 versus Shopify Rebellion, 2 of the strongest teams, not just in this tournament, but on the global stage. Both teams have lifted the GCC trophy in the past. Who is it going to be this time around? That is the big question for this series.
Getting ready here. There's a ping, there's the shot, it's 2 shots, 2 kills with the Outlaw. And now it's up to ResQ, will got away up mid. Very much into the cookie jar here and is dealt with Floor. So here's the molly to keep ResQ off this line, but instantly she reassumes it. Well, this might catch SR off. The swing is perfect! And the young Turkish duelist comes alive when it really counts. Petra, wild swing. Spray takes 1, takes 2, and Noya's gonna get there. She finds a couple of her own, and now Vanya, clutch queen, has it all to do. She TP's back to the side, but I think Noya knows it. She was aware, but she wasn't sharp enough.
Let's go.
Mel TP'd into it. She's waiting for this. I don't think they're ready for Mel at all, but Floor, Else was able to find 2. Mel gets hers over on tower. And SR lock it down.
SRK are all here. They are ready. Noya is flooding in.
She's perpetually lit up, and here's that defense. SR looking more. And the House of Ghost is back on the market. The highest bidder, Shopify Rebellion.
SR, how do they find 2 openings? Amy has to stabilize.
In a good position to do so, in fairness. The Paranoia misses her now, and she can just shoot heads. What a flick! What an adjustment for Amy. Noya dragging herself into this and give up the ace to Amy.
Hey, what you doing? What are you doing?
G2 lock it down. Pop here from mid again. Gonna be a trade. Floor gets the 1. Okay, let's make it 2 for 2 here.
They do have a crossfire here if G2 try to force B, but they don't. They slow things down again.
This is so good. Noya wins it out somehow.
They're getting into the site. Noya right now, though. Amy totally unaware.
Oh, no. Into it. What?
Tried to go for safety, but landed in the jaws of Noya.
Mel's found Mimi already. Hunter's Fury coming into the site. Mel gets there, sees the TP from Vanya and looking for another target. It's ResQ finding 2 with the overdrive. 3. What can't she do? Down and a clean ace for ResQ. Apparently lightning strikes 5 times.
maybe not fully commit. Maybe they just use it to get some utility out of the defenders. There's that fast lane that just immediately caught. No one dealing with the trip.
They tried to. The shock dart was too far forward, I think. She gets up off of it. Noise looking for the right time to emerge here. Floor, oh my goodness, she attracts a lot of attention. Yes, falling for the second year in a row. Shopify Rebellion will advance to a GCC Grand Final.
And for the second year in a row, besting G2 in the exact same part of the bracket in the upper final.
The pride of two regions comes to a head in this match. Zipto versus MIBR. MIBR, the newest squad in the tournament right now in the top 4. With every match, they show everyone what you think you've seen about the squad. You haven't seen anything just yet. And for Zipto, they've been in this exact position before. Can they rise above their past and go further than they have before?
She's still got a nade, and Jelly is right ready to assist.
I like this though. Ah, but again, the wingman, everything so methodical on site take. I thought there'd be at least a little bit of a fight back, but no. The utility combination was just perfect. Now a 3v3.
Just perfectly responding to the info her teammates gave her. An SRN, she wants to do more.
Oh, and look at the pickup finding Tara here. The only factor was Camu slipped ahead, but SRN is so aware that someone could have slipped a little earlier than that. Nice! God. They're getting away from it, huh? They're going in. Look at this aggression.
Wow.
And look at the absolute slaughter, at least for the first.
Good
Quick
response.
reply. Back and forth they go, blow for blow. Tap on the spike. First spike found. Now down to a fair 2v2. Horn's going to clear through long. Maybe consider the smoke. But it's Sayuri to find Alexi. And now it's all Shirazi, who stands tall with the clutch.
SRN try to get a nade kill if they can.
Oh,
what a shot.
And that shot. Shirazi's gone. Camu gonna give away the game as well. Could be swung on from multiple angles. Gets very dangerous here. The bait from one and the swing from the other. Oh, my word, MIBR. That's not the round you win, but hell, why not? 13-4. That's a landside. They have to give it up. But Iniri is getting curious and getting close. The front two punch. Oh my word, that could have been better. That is SRN down. That couldn't have been a better target to find. Alt now got Alexi fully blind. Oh, it's all going right for Zipto now. What a change. What a totally different atmosphere from map 1. That looks like it was a teammate that... But the spike's back in hand. Has got the ult. Takes away Tara, but is there a trade? Look who's waiting in the depths. Shirazi with at least one. TP now gets taken. Melissa gets away. But does she just turn her mind away from it? The turn. This feels unreal. Melissa still going to do what she needs. But the tap on the spike going to draw the attention away, and Camu trying to play this one out.
She's sticking it?
She almost did. You saw the temptation, but now the fight, now the time. And for MIBR live to fight another round. Smoke goes in, Paranoia sent.
Great blind.
Both sides sending these through. It is on a knife's edge here. Shirazi, Camu, and Tara trying to take steps forward. Nice down, and Melissa, and this time she can't do it. Zipto open up the third map. We're going the distance. Sunset now. And it looks like pressure through market, straight up through mid. And SRN ain't gonna stop. No, absolutely not. Shirazi is just eviscerated. SRN takes full control.
Constrict them, get some
Jeez.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Oh, no. They got a good idea. Jelly is being the ultimate teammate, and it's the ace.
That's the homie.
That's it. That's who you need. Camu trying to be the one to hold the line, to keep them back, keep them pressure towards elbow. And Camu ain't alone. Camu on the shut down and shut out. Zipto are now stringing together rounds. Only going to take down one, but Camu falling could be key to this. Sayuri now just taking him down. One guy, four MIBR. We go the distance at 13-5. It feels like history was always fated to repeat here as they move forward after a devastatingly good performance.